Howdy. I'm driving in the New Mexico desert. I forgot how long the stretch. There's a stretch from Northern California through Nevada where you go through Ely. It's desolate. One of the more desolate stretches in the nation. But I've forgotten the one from actually from Monticello, Utah to Albuquerque. There's desolate stretches there. I stayed in Monticello, then Albuquerque last night, outside of Albuquerque. But from Albuquerque to where I'm going, Seagraves, Texas, or basically to the next town, Roswell, for instance. That's the next town after Albuquerque that's actually a town. That's desolate. Wow. It's 108 degrees. I love it. Well, maybe not that hot, but it's good to be in the heat. So I just left Roswell going through, and I'm heading to a place called Seagraves, Texas. I discovered an old hotel there last year going down to Texas. It's about half an hour out of my way. I'm going to San Antonio first, but really when I get in the road mode, there's nothing out of my way. I veer and wander. And it's an old town, Seagraves, typical Texas old town, kind of dying. But there's a guy who used to be a teacher back east, and he took his life savings and he bought the oldest hotel in town and redid it up. It's a historic building built in the late 1800s, and I love funky stuff like that. I mean, you get a room that's like three bedrooms. There's the living room and bathroom. I mean, they're really nice rooms, and the price is lower than anything out there. It's not really a destination town, but for me it is. I love it. I'm going to go and just stay 2 nights there, just take a deep breath and have fun. But wanted to bring something up in this video besides that. Going through Roswell, what does that conjure up in your mind? Aliens. Area 51, Area 54, whatever they call it. Are aliens real? Many believe it is. Many believe that government has done what's called reverse engineering on alien tech and brought us. Anyway, my point being is, I believe they are. I believe there's a lot more to the eye than we know, but that's me. To think that we're the only souls and human beings and beings in this entire universe is pretty shallow thinking, in my opinion. But the point I'm trying to make here is Roswell brought up what's going on in our world again. You know, all these kind of, I call it the unveiling, awakening. People are awakening to different things on different levels, sometimes from the small, minute to the very big. So what happens when you realize it's something you've always scoffed at your whole life, or said, oh, that's a bunch of malarkey, or those people are conspiracy theorists? What happens if it turns out true? And I'm talking about anything from geography to geology to history to our space to the COVID narrative. You know, I always stand on that, to politics. What if in your individual world, things you firmly believed, ensconced in your whole belief, your whole upbringing, everything that your essence that you were taught and truly believe, what if it all starts falling apart on you and you find out that it's really not true? Whatever that is, it could be multiple things, it could be one thing. What will you do? And this is more of a rhetorical question. There are those who, it's called cognitive dissonance, who will refuse to see evidence of the truth or lies that they have believed in, even if it's facing them right in front of the face. The evidence is there because it's a protection mechanism. This is a psychological thing. Cognitive dissonance is their mind won't let them believe it, because it will completely disrupt their whole life. Everything they stood for, everything they believe in life falling apart, they won't be able to handle. There are those that can't handle it or won't handle it or refuse to see it and will go off and live their lives oblivious. That's okay. Whatever you need to do, I'm not saying there's any right or wrong. But for the majority of us, what happens is everything you believed in on, say, one level turns out to be false, or you start to see cracks in the veneer of that belief system. Again, on whatever level that is. What will you do? How will you handle that? Will it be the usual emotions, disbelief, anger, rage, going after the people that taught you those lies? Or will it be an acceptance, going down rabbit holes, learning more, wanting to do, find out more so you can really find your direction again? There's no real right or wrong answers. I'm just asking a rhetorical question because this is happening now. It happened to me a long time ago where a lot of things I believed in, all of a sudden I came in with a new perspective and realized my own personal views. Many things that were taught to me or that I believed in were false. And much of that has proven true. But I'm not here to say I'm right or wrong. I'm just saying my personal experience. Now, that is starting to happen in many levels around the world now. People waking up to dogma. It's not true. Waking up to politics. You're seeing it in the expression of riots or protests around the world. It's happening in different levels all over the place. So people are dealing with it in any way. So really, this is more of a just ask yourself that. And running theme that I've done in all these videos is open your eyes, take the 40,000 foot view, that's the big picture, stand on the moon and look down, see the big picture in things, don't get caught up in the minutia. So if something does happen that knocks you off center, you're somewhat prepared for it. And that's why I always say be grounded. Find your peace, find your grounding among the storm, because no matter what, if say everything that you were taught is a lie and you find that out, let's just say, for instance, I'm making an extreme example, you still have your anchor inside you, knowing that you are your true north. Everything else can fall apart, the world can explode, but it's still you. There's a lot to that, but I've talked about that over and over and over, and many reasons I talk about that. To help, but also to prepare for what many of us are seeing as a collapse of a lot of things right now. So ask yourself that question. I mean, it could be even religion. What happens if the religion you belong to, and I'm not saying will happen, just that you were faithful your whole life and you find out that it wasn't maybe as true as you thought it was. These are real big life change. These are real huge psychological impacts to our brains to be able to handle that. And I said many people won't be able to handle it. Just toy with that in your head. Think about the aliens that we just left behind in Roswell. They're waving. All right. Talk to you later.